now we are going to see a very important chapter from the dental materials textbook, which is the mechanical properties of dental materials. Okay, so this actually forms the basis of all dental materials. So these initial chapters, basically this physical properties chapter, mechanical properties chapter and biocompatibility chapter is very important for you. So only if you understand these three chapters, it will help you to understand the entire dental material textbook, that is individually to know in detail of all the dental materials. So these three chapters are very important. So this particular chapter, mechanical properties of dental materials, is important from the exam point of view. So these are the contents of my presentation today. So we are going to talk about what a brief introduction, what is stress, what is strain, and mechanical properties based on elastic deformation, then what are the strength properties, then mechanical properties of tooth structure, mastication forces and stresses, some other mechanical properties, stress concentration factors and criteria for selection of restorative materials. So that is going to be the content of today's class. First, what is the definition of mechanical properties? So mechanical properties can be defined by the law of mechanics as the physical science that deals with energy and forces and their effect on bodies. Basically, it is a resistance that the material offers whenever a force or a load is applied onto a particular body. Okay, so there is a material, you apply some load or some force onto that particular material, how that material is going to react. Okay, so whether it is going to deform or whether it is going to change the shape or it is going to remain in its original shape or whether it is going to fracture, that only we are going to see in mechanical properties. Okay, so one by one we will see everything. So first we are going to see what is stress and what is strain. So that forms the basis. Okay, so as you know, stress is nothing but force per unit area. Okay, force per unit area, simple force per unit area is stress. Okay, so it is denoted by the letter S or sigma. Okay, so you need a symbol to represent stress, isn't it? So it is denoted by the letter S or sigma, and see the value. It is, so sigma is the formula is force divided by cross sectional area. So F represents force and A represents cross sectional area. So the value is Newton per meter square. The value is Newton per meter square. See, it is force per unit area. So it is commonly referred in the terms of megapascals, which is nothing but MPa. So there are three common types of stresses. First one is the compressive stress, next is the tensile stress, and the third one is the shear stress. So what is this compressive stress trying to do? Okay, so there is an object and when you apply a compressive load, you are actually compressing the body. So this is referred to as a compressive stress. When the same body is subjected to a tensile stress, you are trying to pull or you are trying to stretch or elongate the particular body. So that is a tensile stress. Okay, shear stress is actually a sliding or twisting of one portion of the body over the other. So that is your shear stress. So we will see one by one into detail. So first we are going to see what is a compressive stress. The definition of compressive stress is if a body is placed under a load that tends to compress or shorten the object, the internal resistance to such a load is the compressive stress. Please understand, a body is tend to be compressed or it tends to be shortened by a particular load, and the internal resistance that that body offers to that particular stress is called as the compressive stress. Okay, so compressive stress can be applied force. The formula is applied force, it's force by area. Any stress is simple, it's force by area, cross section area. So here also the same, applied force divided by cross sectional area perpendicular. Please note this, cross sectional area perpendicular to the direction of the force. It's applied force divided by cross sectional area perpendicular to the direction of the force. Okay, next coming to the tensile stress. Okay, so tensile stress can be caused by a load that tends to stretch or elongate the particular body. For example, you can chew a sticky candy and your crown will pop out. Okay, so that is the best example for the tensile stress. Okay, so the internal resistance offered to a load that tends to stretch or tends to elongate the particular body is your tensile stress. So here the formula is applied force divided by cross section area here also it is perpendicular to the direction of the force. Here also the same, applied force, cross section area perpendicular to the direction of the force. Okay. Now, let us take an example of a simple spring. All of you would have played with a simple spring in your childhood days. Okay. So, what is a spring? So, when you continuously play with the spring, when you tend to compress it, okay, you are applying a force like this. Okay. So, that what happens to the spring? The spring will remain in a compressed state. So, this is your compressive stress. Okay. So, if you keep on stretching or elongating it, the length of the body will be increased. So, basically the spring will elongate or the spring will stretch. So, this is your tensile stress. So, please remember, a force that tends to compress or shorten the body is referred to as a compressive stress. The force that tends to elongate or stretch the body is referred to as a tensile stress. Now, it is simple. Okay.